Okay, so good afternoon to all. My topic of dissertation is from market to mind, consumer culture and the implied use of pink for girl in selected advertisement. Here is my academic information. Here is the chapterization. In chapter 1, I introduce a research background, a rationale and significance, identify of a research gap and theoretical framework, research problem, objective, research question and hypothesis, and also mention of methodology. In chapter 2, there is a literature review and research gap. In chapter 3, I analyze pink as a sign value in advertisement based on Baudrillard's concept of sign value from consumer society, and pink function as a visual code of femininity in advertisement and analysis of a selected advertisement. In chapter 4, I discuss a historical shift of pink from neutral masculine to feminine and role of institution like family, education, healthcare, and market. And I also conduct one survey finding show awareness of stereotype but strong childhood influence. And in conclusion, how pink operate as a cultural and ideological sign in consumer society. Then in chapter 1, there is a chapter of introduction that color plays an important role in advertising and shaping consumer perception. In contemporary consumer culture, pink is widely used as a symbol of femininity, especially in product market to women and girl. And the study examine how the use of pink in advertisement function as a cultural sign that reinforce gender identity and influence consumer perception within the marketplace. And my hypothesis is the color pink in advertisement is not a neutral aesthetic choice but a culturally imposed symbol of femininity shaped by consumer culture and a color psychology. And my research question are, how does consumer culture construct and reinforce pink as a gender color for girls in advertising, and in what way do selected advertisement convey pink as a implied or culturally imposed preference rather than a natural choice, and how does the psychology of color contribute to the effectiveness of pink in targeting girls in advertisement. And last one is, what pattern can be observed in selected advertisement that demonstrate the commercial and cultural codification of pink for girls. My research objective are to analyze how advertising and marketing associate pink with girl, to examine how pink is presented as a preferred color through repeated advertising cue, and to explore the psychological impact of pink on young female consumer, and how color psychology or pink color become a sign value as per the Jean Baudrillard's theory of sign value, and to identify recurring visual and textual pattern in selected advertisement. Here is my literature review from Jean Baudrillard's Consumer Society. I take two concept. One is that how pink perform as a sign value in various advertisement, and also how packaging, shape or color and design element also build the identity of a product. And that another source like Anis Abdul Rahim's theory that demonstrate how advertising link pink with beauty, elegance, and empowerment. Basically, how it connect to femininity. Then Kevin Bidock's help analyze how pink branding can appear empowering but still reinforce traditional femininity. Then other various theorists like Paulo Francito and Benedette Petroni, Joe Beregù Pelotti, Marco del Guid, Demo Q Girisad, Andrew J. Elite, Belen Tracy, Liz Elliott, Dev Patil, Veronica Kohler, Kasper Rijke, and Joyce J. Endich. My research gap is many scholar or theorists examine that how pink color associate with femininity or how it connect to women. But my research basically discuss that is it implied use of pink or it is a aesthetic choice of women. So in chapter 3, I analyze pink as a sign value in advertising, how color consumption and ideology work together uh, to in advertisement. So pink is a cultural sign in consumer culture. So in consumer society, commodity circulate for symbolic meaning rather than practical use. So shapes, colors, and of course the quality of material has a beneficial effect on productivity. Then pink is a cultural sign in consumer culture. So according to Changda and Bhumik, they discussed that 60 to 90% of product evaluation are influenced by color within 90 seconds. So here pink, it is used to promote goods to women and younger girl as a symbol of romance and feminine. Thus, within the consumer culture, color becomes a strategic visual sign that communicate identity, meaning beyond the functional value of product. In this system, pink operate as a psychological and symbolic cue that immediately signal femininity and shape a consumer perception. So here is a selected advertisement. First is a bar case study of Barbie, that how pink dominate the doll packaging and reveal ritual socializing. How it's a pink color here work as a sign value. Another one is by Nykaa Pink Friday sale. So here we find word pink as a sign value that promote to girls or encourage girls to buy a product. Then big for her pen. Neutral object is feminized through pink color coding. So basically, it's a packaging or a title big for her. It demonstrate economically gendering in advertisement. And their L'Oreal Paris Advanced shampoo. In this, the constructs such as a pink atmosphere and pink experimental quality generate trust, loyalty, and peak seeking intention among a consumer. So in chapter 4, I prove that in what way does we find the color pink as a implied color. So we find historical background that in 19th century there is a neutral pink is a neutral color. In early 19th century, we find pink for boys or for masculine. Then in post World War II, we find pink for a girl. So these how we find the evolution of pink color. Then we find various institutions that how it play a role to implied pink color on women. So first is a society that early socialization through clothing, toys, and peer expectation that we find. Here we can consider the example of Barbie, that whenever we have a in our home we have a two child, one is a boy and girl, so we prefer Barbie for a girl. That way. And then the hospital also, that medical discourse sometimes treat gender non-conforming behavior as abnormal. So one article discussed that when we find the case of boy that like the pink color, so it is abnormal, or it is like a illness. Then in market, so advertising and product design repeatedly associated pink with femininity to drive consumption. So as I take various case study that we can consider as a market. And also government is at some level we find that they implied a pink color on women. So here is one figure from GSRTC bus, that whenever girls are book the seat, at that time we find it convert in the pink color. In chapter 4 also I do data analysis, that in what way does we find that pink color is implied. So in my questionnaire, one question is I associated pink with femininity during childhood. So from 57 respondent, 26 of respondent associated pink with femininity in childhood. That show that how in teenage age we find that pink color is implied by society or a school or various platform. Then do you think pink should be a neutral color rather than associated only with girl? So 56.2% believe pink should be gender neutral, indicating growing critical awareness that pink should not only for girls, boy can also like that color. And another one is, do you think pink is institutional enforcement rather than aesthetic choice. So around 28% agree that pink function as an institutional enforcement through many remain neutral, showing a partial awareness. So in neutral, we cannot find what the way they think. Fourth question is, do you believe women naturally prefer pink? So nearly 75.4% believe women prefer for pink is a socially learned rather than biological. That not at the time of their birth they like a pink color, but we structure society that way that after some time or in the age of teenage, girls are more likely to like a pink. Then, do you feel that women's product are unnecessary design in pink? So, 82.5% say women's product are often unnecessarily designed in pink. So, we already discussed the Pink Friday sale. So, even title affect women more in to buy or produce women product in pink color. After that, would you pay extra for a product just because it is pink? So nowadays we have a concept of pink tax, that in whenever we buy a pink color product that has extra tax on it. So nearly 86 percentage would not pay extra for a product on a pink product. So it signify that nowadays women are not more like to pink, but nowadays we find the awareness regarding color. So in chapter 5, I include my key finding that pink operate as a culturally constructed and commercially reinforced symbol of femininity. Advertising repeatedly use pink as a visual code to target female consumer, and institutional practice and early socialization reinforce the pink femininity association, and survey result show early internalization of pink as a feminine, although many respondent now support gender neutrality. And hypothesis validation is the hypothesis that pink in advertise is not a neutral aesthetic choice but a culturally constructed symbol of a femininity. It is supported by theoretical analysis, advertisement study, and survey data. And limitation and future scope of this research is limited survey sample and selected advertisement, restrict generalization, and future research can explore algorithmic marketing, cross culture color meaning, and gender neutral branding trend. So here is my bibliography, and this is from my side.
Okay, so one thing you have written somewhere like chapter 3 is this, chapter 4 is this. Instead of, you can say in this chapter,
Yes.
or you can say here we or I study so and so kind of things, that
Yes.
can be used. I think during the this academic writing workshop also, there
Yes.
might be session on this as an author, how
Yes.
you use I or we or third person, what way you
Yes.
can utilize that. So if there are expressions where you are pinpointing that here I am doing this work,
Yes.
there is no problem in using the I. In other context, if you use third person, then it is okay.
Okay.
So here you can see that the survey that you have done, that is supporting the idea that a pink color is social construct.
Yes.
That is what you are saying, in that. But the percentage are not like heavily loop-sided in that manner. No? There are 57. Who were the respondents?
57.
Who were the
From age group of 80 to 30 girls.
18
to 30.
30 girls?
Yes.
That also you have to mention.
Yes.
Have you mentioned that?
Yes, it's somewhere I mentioned.
Target group or age group?
Yes, in appendix I mention it. Sir.
So 45% strongly agree.
Yes.
That is connected with femininity.
Yes.
So it means 55 do not agree with that idea.
Yes.
From that 20 rejected it. So and 33 remain neutral. So then what do you infer from this?
Yes, so whenever we doing the survey kind of thing, so we find that whoever those who not critically think or take it serious, they vote in neutral. So this is might be one limitation, or also a neutral is not either in agree side or disagree.
So 56% said that pink should be neutral.
Yes.
So it means 40 other remaining also is almost equal. No, 44% also do not agree with that idea.
Yes.
So means the data is not like telling you anything very clearly,
Yes.
that what way people try to look at it.
Yes.
So have you followed this with any interviews of the respondents?
No, sir.
So when your survey is little bit doubtful, that is like some kind of bias is there in the survey, or you
Yes.
doubt that, well, this observation is problematic, then you have to take interview of selected people,
Yes.
semi-structured interview. So some questions you ask, further clarify, and you
Yes.
support your this survey. Otherwise, normally in such case where you share a link, people would randomly click even without
Yes.
reading anything.
Yes.
Also they will click. So your result is completely unreliable.
Yes.
Yeah, so anything that we infer from that is completely unreliable. So for a survey method, people always have to use a semi-structured interview
Yes.
of a selected candidate after doing the reading, that these
Yes.
people are extremely on this side or the other side,
Yes.
or they are just remaining in the between, so that they don't have to take any stance.
Yes.
So these people should be interviewed. Then only that finding becomes more reliable.
Yes.
For color psychology, which work you referred? Have you reviewed any?
For color psychology of pink in advertisement, I don't take any source, but there is one quotation in Jean Baudrillard's Consumer Society, that packaging, shape, and color also affect the product. So, basis on this, I analyze the role of color. Or also, pink color become a sign value in that matter.
Now, these two articles you have cited from Springer.
Yes.
One is Welcome to a Pink and Blue World.
Yes.
And another is Pink, Blue, and Gender, an update. Have you reviewed that? Are you able to get access to these articles?
Yes, sir. I had PDF.
So then they might be speaking something about it. Then the myth of pink and blue.
Yes.
So what do they observe? They might have cited some other psychologist about color psychology.
Yes, it might be, but whenever I separate this topic, if I analyze advertisement, color psychology, or consumer culture, it will become a broader topic. So rather than choosing a different perspective, I only use the quotation from consumer society.
No, but you have to base on this. Where the title says that implied use of pink.
Yes.
So that means psychologically, what is the effect? And then when you said this, that earlier it was boys for pink. So
Yes.
those image or other thing, were you able to get?
No, sir, but I read some. I see this video. Why was pink for boys and blue for girls? And one selected chapter from J. Paoletti. So these both discuss that at first we find pink color with a masculine feature.
Hmm. But some more evidence you require to see that what
Yes.
in which context they are telling, and then you have to use that.
Yes.
Okay, all other things you look into this, the other suggestions that were given to other students.
Okay. Sir.